Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Welcome to the Sunday morning Srimad Bhagavatam class of ISKCON Portland. Today is July 24th, 2022, and we will be reading or discussing the verses from Canto 1, Chapter 11, verse numbers 4 and 5. So, this is the chapter where Lord Krishna is entering into Dwarka, and the residents of Dwarka are so happy that Lord is coming back, and they are eagerly receiving him. So very wonderful exchanges of love between the Lord and his devotees. So that's what is going on in this chapter. Very beautiful and very a chapter with a lot of bhava and depiction of love and devotion between the Lord and his devotees. So before we get started, we will recite the Mangalacharan prayers, then the invocation prayers for Srimad Bhagavatam, and then have a short discussion on the verse. Is the audio and video okay? Is it clear? Or devotees can
Yes, yes,
okay. So we will read or recite the Mangalacharan. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Then we will recite the invocation for Srimad Bhagavatam. So if possible, you can repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 I will recite the invocation verses as well. If you want, you can recite together, not lead and follow, just together. Narayanam Namaskrityam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Sarasatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udire
Nadirayet
Nashtakayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama-shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Neshtaki
Krishnaya
Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha.
Thank you so much. So we will now go into the verse for today. I will Let me adjust some screen settings here. Still trying to get used to the Mac. So, okay, no problem. So, okay, I hope you can see the
Yes, Prabhu.
screen here. Okay. So please repeat after me these two verses from Canto 1, Chapter 11. Verse numbers 4 and 5, they are together. So that's what we are going to read. And I will make sure that the entire verse is visible on the screen in both Devanagari and transliteration, the Roman transliteration. Tatra upanita balayo. Or actually, yeah, since we are in online setting, I will just read it and then you can read it subsequently. We do this kind of lead follow thing in a class, in a live in-person class. Okay. Sorry. Tatra upanita balayo raveh deepam iva adritah atma aramam purna kamam nijalabhena nityada priti utphulla mukha prochu harsha gadgadaya gira pitaram sarva suhridam avitaram iva arbhakah. So once again, Tatra upanita balayo raveh deepam iva adritah atma aramam purna kamam nijalabhena nityada priti utphulla mukha prochu harsha gadgadaya gira pitaram sarva suhridam avitaram iva arbhakah. One more time, then I will request devotees to possibly recite. Tatra upanita balayo raveh deepam iva adritah atma aramam purna kamam nijalabhena nityada priti utphulla mukha prochu harsha gadgadaya gira pitaram sarva suhridam avitaram iva arbhakah. Hare Krishna. So these are the two verses. Would anybody like to repeat them?
Tatropanita balayo ravirdipam vivadritaha atmaramam purnakamam nijanabhena nityada prichutpalla mukha prochur harshagad gataya gira pitaram sarva suhridam avitaram vivarbhakaha. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Very beautifully recited, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Panita balayo rave deepam vivadritah atmaramam purnakamam nijalabhena nityada prityutphulla mukha prochur harsha gadgadaya gira pitaram sarva suhridam avitaram ivarbhakaha.
Thank you. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Tatropanita balayo ravirdeepam vivadrita atma ramam purna kamam nijalabhena nityada prityutphulla mukha prochur harsha gadgadaya gira pitaram sarva suhridam avitaram ivarbhaka. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Chandrasekhar Prabhu. Thank you. Anyone else?
Tatropanita balayo rave deepamivadrita atmaramam purna kamam nijalabhena nityada priti utpula mukha prachur harsha gadgadaya gira pitaram sarva suridam avitaram ivarvaka.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Thank you very much. Okay, shall we move on then? Anyone else? Okay, we will continue moving forward. So the synonyms are Tatra, thereupon, Upanita, having offered, Balayaha, presentations, Rave, up to the sun, Deepam, lamp, Eva, like, Adritah, being evaluated, Atma Aramam, unto the self-sufficient, Purna Kamam, fully satisfied, Nija Labhena, by his own potencies, Nityada, one who supplies incessantly, Preeti, affection, Utpulla Mukha, cheerful faces, Prochu, said, Harsha, gladdened, Gadgadaya, ecstatic, Gira, speeches, Pitaram, unto the father, Sarva, all, Suhridam, friends, Avitaram, the guardian, Iva, like, Arbhakaha, words. Translation by His Divine Grace, Abhay Charna Arvind Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The citizens arrived before the Lord with their respective presentations, offering them to the fully satisfied and self-sufficient one, who by his own potency incessantly supplies others. These presentations were like the offering of a lamp to the sun. Yet the citizens began to speak in ecstatic language to receive the Lord, just as the wards welcome their guardian and father. So, very nice verse of exchange of love. And this verse is mostly specifying, or these two verses are showing the love of the devotees towards Lord Sri Krishna. The love of Lord Krishna is also shown here in the sense that he is incessantly supplying others with all the things that they need to sustain their lives, who incessantly supplies Nityada, that is the one, by his own potencies, Nija Labhena Nityada. So this verse, or these two verses, are very, very interesting in the sense that couple of things that I just noticed, that this whole phrase that we say, showing the lamp to the sun, that is given right here, Rave Deepam Iva Adrita, like an offering of a lamp to the sun. So Lord Sri Krishna is the sun. He is the one supplying incessantly all the necessities of life. He doesn't need anything. He is Atma Aramam Purna Kamam. Purna Kamam. Kama means one's desires, or his desires mainly. And the Lord's desires are always satisfied by himself. Atma Aramam. He himself satisfies his own desires. There is absolutely nothing that he needs. And anything that is offered to him can only be very insignificant. There is no invention of an offering that anyone has made which can become significant to him. Just like we cannot manufacture a lamp that is big enough to show light to the sun. The sun will always be infinitely bigger than any lamp that we can manufacture. Raveh Deepam Iva Adrita, that it will always be like a small, tiny lamp shown to the sun. However, how are the devotees making these offerings, making these small offerings, little offerings to Lord Krishna? With great, great love. That is the key point. Preeti Utpulla Mukha Prochu. Preeti, as you can all understand, is love. So with a lot of love, Utpulla Mukha. Utpulla Mukha means with a lot of cheer and happiness on their faces. So the love is not only inside, which is Preeti, but also being expressed outside. Many a times when we give to someone, as in the Bhagavad Gita, it is written that charity done in the mode of passion is the one that is, what is the phrase that is used? Anybody remembers? Or the English word or the English meaning? What is generally charity in the mode of passion?
You do this with an expectation something in return to do, get a name, the board, something like that.
With an expectation of return, that is one that is one point. And if, let's say, it's guaranteed that there will be no return, then what?
For
Maybe name and fame.
That is also an expectation to get some name and fame. There is one more thing, one more aspect, which is grudge, that you don't want to give, but you have to give. For some reason, somebody is forcing you, something like that. So with a grudge. So the point I was trying to make is, externally one gives with a smiling face, but internally there is either expectation, like you all said, or there is grudge. Why am I being forced? I should not have been here. Better I should have just not, whatever, been here, or I was at the wrong place at the wrong time. All these feelings we get sometimes when we ask for a donation or something. People are forced to give, say, oh, I should not, whatever may be the case, I don't want to. So here in this verse, it is Preeti Utphulla Mukha Prochur, that not only there is love in the heart, but there is a lot of cheer and happiness on the faces as well. And they have absolutely nothing to hold back. The devotees they don't hold back anything, and they are giving everything to the Lord. And generally we count how much we gave based on the money. That has become the currency of exchange in the modern world, or in Kali Yuga. It is money, because money has been equated to happiness. However, there are more things that equate to happiness than just money. One of the things that equates to happiness is also our words. Sometimes people give money because that kind of counts. It goes into some ledger book, it will go into some chart that is displayed or whatever. So, the amount, the number, which can be compared, you can sort based on numbers, and people want to say that or show that money is like a currency which you can compare. However, words are not easy to compare. And therefore, sometimes people are stingy with words. So they don't praise fully, they hold back. And here we can see that one of the currency of love, using which that the devotees are expressing their love towards the Lord, that is mentioned here, is through words. So prochu means to speak or to say something. And they were saying with a very, very harsha gadgadaya gira, with very wonderful words. They were getting ecstatic, gadgad. They were ecstatic from their heart. And like that, they were welcoming Lord Krishna with wonderful words. So they were making very simple offerings, very simple presentations, balayo, just like a lamp to the sun, but with great words, as much as they could muster, whatever were the best words that they could muster, that they could think of, with great ecstasy, with great happiness, harsha, gadgada, utphulla mukha, with preeti. So many words are being used here to describe how fully the devotees were appreciating, were welcoming, expressing their love, holding back absolutely nothing to the Lord. Because the Lord, they all realize, is such a loving Father, not a Father who is supplying things so that they need to please him like a remuneration, not like that, but truly as a Father who is all loving. So he's a Pitaram, Pita, but Sarva Suhridam. He's genuinely the well-wisher, the friend and guardian, Avitaram, and the guardian, like, so that expression of love is coming out of gratitude, is coming out of love from the children. Arbhakaha means like the children of the Father. So they go and cling to the Father, and it's just pure love. There is no other word that fits better than just pure love. So that is the mood of the devotees of Dwarka towards Lord Sri Krishna when he arrives. So let us read the purport by His Divine Grace, Abhay Charna Arvind Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Purport. The Supreme Lord Krishna is described herein as Atma Arama. So that Atma Rama is broken down into two. Atma Arama. He is self-sufficient. Atma Arama. बिल्कुल आराम से है वो अपने आप में. He doesn't need anything. Atma Arama. He is self-sufficient, and there is no need for him to seek happiness from anything beyond himself. So the Lord is fully self-sufficient. He is, what is one of the definitions of Bhagavan? Bhagavan is one who is full in 6 opulences. There are more than 6 opulences, but 6 primary opulences. What are the 6 primary opulences? Full of knowledge, wealth, beauty, strength, renunciation, and fame. So these are the 6 opulences, and they are present fully in Bhagavan, or the Supreme Lord. We would be happy to get a fraction of one of the 6, but he has full of all these 6 opulences, and he is Bhagavan, so he doesn't need anything. So here Srila Prabhupada writes, he is self-sufficient. I'll just highlight so we can follow along. He is self-sufficient because his very transcendental existence is total bliss. He is eternally existent. He is all cognizant and all blissful. Therefore, any presentation, however valuable it may be, is not needed by him. Like I was saying, there is no lamp that is manufactured which can be of any significance to the sun. And it is not manufactured, it can never be manufactured. So we cannot come up with an offering that the Lord needs, because everything is given by him. Whatever we give him will always, by definition, be a subset of what he has given us. Now there is a but. But still, because he is the well-wisher for one and all, he accepts from everyone everything that is offered to him in pure devotional service. So it is not that he doesn't accept. He very happily accepts everything that is offered to him, but there is a condition. The condition is in pure devotional service, in Shuddha Bhakti. So whatever a Shuddha Bhakta offers with love and devotion, that the Lord accepts. Ashnami priyata atmanaha. I eat that with which is offered to me in priyata atmanaha, with a very, very loving heart. This is the famous 9.26 verse. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhaktya prayachati tad aham bhakti upahartam ashnami priyata atmanaha. So the Lord accepts even the simplest of things like a patra, pushpa, phala, and water, as long as it is offered in pure devotional service. So I wanted to show a short video. I was reminded of Srila Prabhupada, very, very always when I am feeling low or feeling, sad, I look at this video and I immediately become very happy. And here it is in this video. Let me just show this, and you can maybe also find it on your YouTube. So it is, if you search for Nadia Godrume Srila Prabhupada, you will see this. It's just a short 5-minute video with this Nadia Godrume song. But in the video, what is going on is that Srila Prabhupada is arriving in, I think this is in Bombay, I believe, and or somewhere in India.
Looks like Juhu, bro. Yeah.
It's at Juhu.
Yeah.
So Bombay, Juhu, Bombay. And the devotees that have come to meet Srila Prabhupada are very simple. They are not the big Bombay businessmen, but almost like villagers. And by this time, Srila Prabhupada is world famous, but they are offering very, very simple garlands to Srila Prabhupada. Some of the garlands are not even properly made. Some of them are small, some of them have less flowers. I know that, when devotees come to, visit, we make garlands for them, and we have to make sure they are long, nice, all the flowers are tightly fitted, no loose flowers, this, that, very high quality, so to say, materially good quality garland. But these devotees or people who came to see Srila Prabhupada take his darshan made very simple things. They also gave him like some fruit or somebody gave him a little packet. I don't know what it contained, maybe some sweet or something. And you should see the mood with which Srila Prabhupada is accepting those. It is so wonderful to see that Srila Prabhupada is so sweetly reciprocating with every devotee as he is accepting. There is no feeling on his face that, oh, it's a waste of time, or I don't need all these garlands, or, I'm really here to give a class to educate them, nothing like that. He is so patiently and so sweetly accepting all these things, even though Srila Prabhupada doesn't need any of those. He could have very easily said, okay, fine, thank you, you have brought it, you can put it there on the side, and that will be your offering. Like that, he could have just said and given the class or talked to them or whatever he wanted to do. And these devotees later, some of the little girls do a little dance. They, and later on you will see he takes out every garland that was given to him very patiently and gives it back to each one of the devotees that has come, and as a prasad. And this is such a sweet exchange of Srila Prabhupada with these devotees. And I don't know who these devotees are, whether they are fixed sort of devotees, what happened to them now after 50 years or how many ever years. But I'm sure that these exchanges with Srila Prabhupada that they had will be there with them in their heart for forever, many lifetimes. And sometime or the other, it will, the seed of bhakti that has been sown by Srila Prabhupada in their heart will fructify. So I was reminded of this video to show that Srila Prabhupada doesn't need any of these things, but still he so nicely accepts these because they are offered with so much love. Sometime you will see some child puts a garland, he doesn't put it properly. Very nicely, Srila Prabhupada adjusts it. He doesn't feel like, oh, he didn't put it nicely, or he should have put whatever, anything like that. There is just pure love I could see between these people and Srila Prabhupada. So I will play this video. I enjoy it every time I see it. I must have seen it many, many times. So let me know if the audio or video come through, okay?
Krishna Koro Krishna Shika Bolo Krishna Vajo Krishna Koro Krishna Shika Aparara Shunna Hoy Loho Krishna Na Aparara Shunna Hoy Loho Krishna Na Krishna Mato Krishna Vito Krishna Dana Pran 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 Krishna Samsara Koro Chariyana Cha Krishna Samsara Koro Chariyana Cha Divedoya Krishna Nam Sarvadamasa Divedoya Krishna Nam Sarvadamasa Shradhavan Jana Hai Shradhavan Jana Hai Shradhavan Jana Hai Shradhavan Jana Hai Nadiya Gojum Nityananda Mahajan Nadiya Gojum Nityananda Mahajan Adya Chinam Hate Jivera Karan Adya Chinam Hate Jivera Karan Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna. So, would anybody like to share anything that they liked or observed in the video?
I was just smiling through the entire time. I've seen the video before too, but after your explanation, right, and I saw the video again, it was in a very different light. It's so beautiful, and one word which I think of is Arjavam, as I always mentioned, simplicity. Very simple, Prabhu, and especially the innocent, the innocence Prabhupada, exudes, especially in the packet he saw, just like a child would look, oh, what is this, So I can see, Saraj, if we give something, we just, what is this? This very, childlike innocence Prabhupada exudes. Very simple, so beautiful, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu, for sharing.
Yeah. So very childlike innocence and yeah, very, very childlike innocence and so much simplicity. And really the amsha or this small fraction of the quality of the Lord we could see in Srila Prabhupada. That is why Guru is called as the representative of Krishna. We do not have the eyes to see Krishna. Even Arjun did not have eyes to see Krishna. He had to be given special eyes. But through Guru, we can get a glimpse of what Krishna may be. So if we can see this in Srila Prabhupada, then one can imagine what about Krishna. Even he is hungry for our offering of love. We have only heard stories of Krishna, but of, like, for example, when he ate the banana peels from the wife of Vidura. That must have been so simple. The innocence and simplicity must be just emanating from him, just like we saw in Srila Prabhupada. Any other devotees want to share anything?
Prabhu, actually, what I felt is by seeing Srila Prabhupada, yes, exactly, I accept whatever you all shared, simplicity. I could see some, affection of Srila Prabhupada for all the devotees over there. and patiently accepting all the garlands given by them, and not only garlands, but also some things they have brought for Srila Prabhupada out of so much of love. Like how you were explaining in this verse, particularly the Krishna, even though he has everything, Krishna has everything, his devotees are also having everything. They also don't need anything from others. How Krishna is accepting the love of the residents of the places he was traveling, how he was accepting, even though he has everything, right? In the same way, I remember that Srila Prabhupada actually accepting the small things, given by the devotees there present over there, with lots and lots of affection. Like, I could see the compassion, falling from his eyes basically for them. When everybody are offering obeisances, he was a very cool, and he was like a father, basically, father accepting their love. Very, very innocent love, actually, right? The generation is not this kind of generation. Previous generation, both Purana hai. So everybody were so simple, and all the Matajis and even children, basically, even children are coming and offering garlands to Srila Prabhupada, and he was accepting just like father, and so peaceful situation, basically, so peaceful. And I was actually missing that kind of association. I was thinking I would have been there with Srila Prabhupada at that particular time, happily, peacefully. So it was very nice. Thanks for sharing, Prabhu.
Anybody else?
Thank you so much for sharing that video, Prabhu. I really like the smile on Prabhupada's face all the time, and like how Mataji and Prabhuji described, when they came forward to put the garland, he looked at each and every one of the devotee, and then he acknowledged every single deed that they were doing, what mala or whatever offering they had. So that's really nice to see how humble and how I don't know if I can find the right word, Prabhu, but yeah, a lot of things to learn from Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
And we can see from some of the context that this is not one of the early times of Srila Prabhupada. This is when he had Western devotees. Even one of them had a danda, so he was a sannyasi devotee. There were these American or Western devotees in the video. So it's somewhere in the middle time, probably very late 60s or somewhere in the 70s, by which time Srila Prabhupada was already very famous. So just to put it in context, that he really wasn't looking for this, and definitely not from very such simple Indian people, but just his innocence, his childlike innocence, that's very nicely said, just blows me away every time. And it can only be genuine inner innocence. That's something you can't make up at all. And all I have to say is, Srila Prabhupada, through Srila Prabhupada, Krishna is showing his quality of how he is a loving father, and how he so patiently reciprocates with all his loving devotees. In one of the later verses in this chapter, we will see that Krishna embraces and hugs every devotee of Dwarka. So, even today, politicians who want people's votes don't have time to shake hands with everyone. Krishna doesn't want any votes, but still he hugged every devotee of Dwarka. So that only a father can do with his children. And the motivation can only be love, not anything material. Anyway, so let's continue down in the purport. So we were here. He is the well-wisher for one and all, and he accepts from everyone everything that is offered to him. The condition is only pure devotional service with love. Priyata Atmanaha. Ashnami Priyata Atmanaha. It is not that he is in want for such things like Srila Prabhupada. He didn't need those things. He was already world famous. Because these things are themselves generated from his energy. In comparison, the comparison is made herein that making offerings to the Lord is something like offering a lamp in the worship of the sun god. Anything fiery and illuminating is but an emanation of the energy of the sun. And yet, to worship the sun god, it is necessary to offer him a lamp. In the worship of the sun, there is some sort of demand made by the worshipper. But in the case of devotional service to the Lord, there is no question of demand from either side. Either side. The Lord is definitely not demanding it. And of course, the pure devotees don't demand or expect or ask for anything. It is all a sign of pure love and affection between the Lord and the devotee. So, it is not that the Lord is asking or wanting or demanding anything. And we don't need to give either. There is no need to give. But it is our loss if we don't give. It is our loss if we don't give. So one should give whatever he has. Right after that Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam verse. Now that verse can be considered to be like a cop-out. Oh, just Lord can become happy with simple things. Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam, free of charge. You can always find these things free, completely free. In fact, it is not even possible to regulate them. How can you regulate a leaf, picking a leaf? There'll be probably leaves of grass all over. How can you regulate water? If water is falling from the sky, you cannot regulate that. There cannot be any control on these most simple things. So that should not be treated like a cop-out. Oh, just offer the simple things. There's this story that I heard, or some allegory, that a poor man offered 10 rupees to the Lord, and a rich man offered 1,000 rupees to the Lord. But the Lord was more happier with the poor man who offered 10 rupees. Then Narad Muni asked him, what about 1,000 rupees? He offered more. But the Lord said that this poor man who offered 10 rupees is all he had, and he gave it to me. The rich man had 1 crore rupees and he only gave 1,000. So the learning is that whatever best we have, it's not that we should give just something, patram pushpam, and be done. Right in the next verse, Lord Krishna says, whatever you do, yad karoshi, yad ashnashi, yad juhoshi, dadasi yad. Whatever you do. So basically in that verse, he's encompassing everything, all our actions, and he's saying, tad kurushva mad arpanam. Do that as an offering to me. So one should not hold back. One should give fully and freely and everything with great love. And that requires love. To give everything requires love. So with great love, one should give to the Lord everything that they have, everything. Now, just this example that I have said many times between the squirrel and Hanumanji. Their capacities are much different. When they were helping to build the bridge for Lord Rama, they were both giving everything they had. Even though at an absolute level, the capacity of their effort was vastly different. But the Lord was equally pleased with both of them because both of them were giving everything they had in the building of the bridge. And what we give to the Lord also should not just be counted as in the currency of the wealth we may possess. So it is not, so this is a little subtle point, kindly pay attention. Others may think that we have something great, but in our own heart, it may be something else that we cherish more. Just as an example, I don't know, maybe some singer may have a lot of money. People may rank him as, okay, the most rich, whatever, personality or whatever. But for that particular person, his attachment to his voice or his talent of singing may be much more than the wealth he or she may possess. In that case, that person should give that, whatever they cherish the most, to the Lord. They should sing for the Lord. Like George Harrison, very nice example. He sang some wonderful songs in the glory of the Lord, which became top, I don't know what it is called, top of the charts or something like that. For many, many weeks, the song of My Sweet Lord was one of the top chart on the charts of Britain or the world, whatever. And that did much more, through that he did much more service to the Krishna consciousness movement than his donation of money by donating Bhaktivedanta Manor or whatever else donations he gives, for example, for the publication of Krishna book, etc. Srila Prabhupada would have found the funds one way or the other. And the Beatles were very rich and very famous. So he gave his offering of his fame and his talent in service of Krishna. And that did much, much more service through that than with the money. So whatever we have, the best thing we have, we should give. And that you have to see what is the best possession you have. Somebody may be very rich, but somebody may have some other talent which is far more than the riches one may have. So if somebody is good in science or, like Sadaputa Prabhu, you should do that. That should be your offering. Like Rupa Goswami, he was so brilliant. He was, if he were present today as a materialist, he would have been a top scientist or something. He would have got all 5 Nobel Prizes, probably, or something. He was like the most brilliant person that ever was present. And he used his brilliance to compose such wonderful offerings to Lord Krishna that even today, when we read Srila Rupa Goswami's offerings, they are just the best. The way he has described bhakti, the way he has described various glorifications of the pastimes of the Lord are just top of the charts. So, and, he had a lot of money. As you can have read from the history of Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami, that was not the best thing they considered they had. So that they gave it away for various purposes, but it is their intellect and their brilliance that they offered to Krishna as a offering, and we all are benefiting from it even 500 years later. So let us read further. The Lord is the Supreme Father of all living beings. And therefore, those who are conscious of this vital relation with God can make filial demands from the Father. And the Father is pleased to supply the demands of such obedient sons without bargaining. The Lord is just like the desire tree, and from him everyone can have everything by the causeless mercy of the Lord. As the Supreme Father, the Lord, however, does not supply to a pure devotee what is considered to be a barrier to the discharge of devotional service. This is also an important point, that for pure devotees, sometimes the Lord does not give everything, because if it is the Lord knows, he is omniscient. If he thinks that this may be a barrier in this pure devotee's devotional service, then he does not give, because he wants to preserve his devotional service more than giving him objects or material opulences. He wants to preserve the devotional service, yoga kshemam. He wants to preserve the spiritual yoga. Kshema means to preserve. Those who are engaged in the devotional service of the Lord can rise to the position of unalloyed devotional service by his transcendental attraction. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Any comments or questions?
To highlight the example given in this verse, like the lamb being offered to Krishna has been the lamb being offered to a son. Even though same thing which I remember is when we offer to Ganga, we take water from the Ganga and then offer it to Ganga again. So it's like, yeah, there's nothing else we can offer. This is the best thing has come from you. That's we're offering to you. So I just thought of that particular example as well when this verse was being spoken to. That's a very beautiful class. Thank you for thank you so much for explaining so beautifully about the love between Krishna and his devotees and how he's like a loving father, accepting everything and really looking forward to the verse, Prabhu, where Krishna embraces all the devotees, to see the commentary by Srila Prabhupada.
Very nice. Thank you. Yes, very good example of Ganga. You just take the water and offer it back. There is zero material value add that we do. If anything, we only add contamination. But the only spiritual value add that we do is our seva bhava, our mood of service and our love. Thank you for sharing. Okay, so I think we can close the discussion here at this point. It's past 9 o'clock. So thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Please attend